What's up, guys? It's Tilt. Today we got the Wu-Tang beatdown. So today's F3 beatdown is going to be Wu-Tang Clan themed. As a native New Yorker, I kind of had to do this one. We had a lot of fun with this one. You're going to see the entire circuit was a giant W shape. We had a really good playlist going the entire time, so looking forward to showing this to you guys. All right, guys, let's dive into it. So our warm-up for this one was pretty basic, just 15 side straddle hops, 15 tappy taps, 15 arm circles going forward, and then 15 arm circles going backwards. So nothing too special on this one. The really special part on this one is the beatdown itself. So it's a 5-station circuit, so one more than I usually do for a lot of my 4-station beatdowns. And on this one, it's in a giant W shape, so we just got some cheap yellow rope, made a giant yellow W in the parking lot for this one for Wu-Tang. And so each one of those points on that big W is going to be one of the workout stations. So you can repeat this if you're done. So that's the nice thing, is that you don't have to try and figure out what the guys are going to do at the end when they finish. Have them get through all 5, and then they can repeat that circuit again. So let's take a look and go through the stations themselves. What you're going to see here is that middle one right in the center of the W, we intentionally set that up in a way so that you can ruck around a light pole. So just think about what that's going to be for you guys. I mean, it could be a cone, could be a rock, really anything you want. But something like a light pole is kind of ideal, spaced out roughly 100 feet out. All right, so station number 1. You probably heard the Wu-Tang song, Cream, Cash Rules Everything Around Me. Well, station 1 is going to be Coupons Rule Everything Around Me. So for this one, these are going to be coupon-heavy exercises. You're also going to notice almost everything on this is going to be 36 reps for the 36 chambers of Wu-Tang. So a lot of hidden tributes here to especially that big album. So for all those classic rap fans, classic hip-hop fans, you're going to enjoy this one. So station number 1, coupons rule everything around me. You're going to do 36 of those coupon pull-throughs, so getting in that merkin or plank position and doing those pull-throughs underneath your body. 36 goblet squats and 36 curls. So you're definitely going to be feeling it on this one. We have the guys start off evenly spread out between the stations. I typically tell them there's no good station to start at. You're going to feel it no matter where you start on this one. Station number 2, protect your neck. So all of these are going to be something that has to do with lifting something overhead, behind your head, anything like that, based obviously on that classic Wu-Tang song, Protect Your Neck. So 36 gravediggers, that's where you're taking the coupon and going up over the shoulder, up over the shoulder. So 18 of those on each side. 36 overhead tricep extensions going behind the head. And then 36 skull crushers laying on the ground on your 6. So laying on your 6 and then lifting those over your face and going back down. This is an absolute burner of a station for your triceps. It is pretty aggressive, so you are going to get some guys modifying if necessary, especially if they complete this loop a second time. So the third station, our rucking station, which I called Bring the Ruckus, obvious tribute to another great Wu-Tang song. So in this one, you're going to do 36 good mornings with the coupon on your back shoulders. Then you're going to do 36 lunges with the coupon on one shoulder. So 2 is 1 on that one. Then you're going to ruck around the pole using something extra you're carrying on top. So in this case, I had my plate carrier, so I got about, I think, 12 pounds in there or so. Also had a big tactical backpack that I had a 30-pound kettlebell in. I do challenge the guys to do both. If you want to put on the whole backpack plus the plate carrier and then do the rifle carry overhead with the coupon, you will be carrying over 70 pounds when you do that. So that one can be pretty aggressive, but the nice thing is this lets guys modify. So if they only want to rifle carry that coupon around that light pole, you can do that. That's totally fine. If you want to rifle carry with the plate carrier, you want to rifle carry with the backpack, one or both, you can do that too. And so it gives guys a couple nice options for a ruck that's about 100 feet out, 100 feet back. And you definitely will be feeling that, especially when you have to rifle carry that coupon overhead. So station number 4, The Mystery of Chessboxin, another great song. So on this one, you're doing 36 plank punchouts. So going in that plank position and then punching out. So doing that 36 times. 36 boat punches. So you guys have probably done those before, but we did 4 is 1 on that one. So we just clarify it is going to be a lot of boat punches. And 36 Popeye punches. Those are the ones going over the shoulders. So 4 is 1 on those as well. Station 5, I threw in just for one of our packs who hates doing burpees. This one is called Can It All Be So Simple? And it's just 36 burpees. Just straight 36 burpees in a row, nothing else. He was not a fan of that one. So sorry about that. So that's the core of the workout. After that, we get into Mary. So I did 36 Freddy Mercuries and 36 LBCs, or little baby crunches. So we had a good time with this one. This one absolutely smoked the guys. I mean, a lot of these doing 36 is a lot, especially when you start doing that second loop. So you will get guys modifying as necessary. But this one, especially paired with a good soundtrack, is a really good time. on the topic of that soundtrack, I got a couple different playlists that I use for this one that are basically clean versions of Wu-Tang's 36 Chambers, so like the radio edit version. That does edit out a lot of words for the Wu-Tang fans. You'll understand not as many words left as you'd think when you do a radio edit of Wu-Tang, but probably for the best if we got the 2.0s out there. And, we usually try and keep our music at least relatively clean when we're out there in the mornings. So I'll go ahead and pull those up here on the screen right now, just so you can see which playlist we were using as well for clean Wu-Tang mixes. So outside of that, getting into the COT, one of the classic questions I always get when I do creative beatdowns like this is, okay, how are you possibly going to tie this into a scripture verse? So on this one, we actually tied it into John 6. So specifically John 6 verses 5 through 14. When Jesus looked up and saw a great crowd coming towards him, he said to Philip, "Where shall we buy bread for these people to eat?" He asked them this only to test him, for he already had in mind what he was going to do. Philip answered him, "It would take more than half a year's wages to buy enough bread for everyone to have a bite." Another of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up and said, "Here is a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish. But how will they go among so many?" Jesus said, "Have the people sit down." There was plenty of grass in that place, and they sat down. About 5,000 men were seated there. Jesus then took the loaves, gave thanks, and distributed those to those who were seated to have as much as they want. He did the same with the fish. When they had done enough to eat, or when they all had enough to eat, he said to his disciples, "Gather the pieces that are left over, let nothing be wasted." So they gathered them and filled 12 baskets with the pieces of the 5 barley loaves left over by those who had eaten. After the people saw the sign Jesus performed, they began to say, "Surely this is the prophet who is to come into the world." So a lot of us, I think, are familiar with the story of the loaves and fishes. But now the question is, okay, how are we tying that into a Wu-Tang theme beatdown here? So what I really wanted to look at here was the fact that many of the best musicians of all time came from abject poverty, specifically in the projects of New York, right? I mean, a lot of these are rough places that they came from, and they did not have food on the table. And so often we look at our own circumstances, whether that's anything we've been through as men, right? Whether that's poverty, divorce, death, illness, addiction, despair, and conclude that there is no possible way we have the resources that we need for the task in front of us. So just like those disciples immediately questioned Jesus and they said, there's no way that the food I have in front of me can possibly get done what I need here. We find ourselves doing that all the time in our regular lives, right? We look at the resources we have and we say, there's no way I can pull this off. And honestly, on our own, that's often true. We often don't have the resources that we need for the task in front of us. But that really only applies when we're trying to do those tasks fully on our own and we're not trusting God to do that for us and with us. So God's an expert in taking these bad situations and turning them into something beautiful, right? He's amazing at, obviously the best at taking these terrible situations and turning that into something amazing or beautiful in our lives at a time where we genuinely did not believe that it was even possible to do that with the resources that we had in front of us in our lives. So that's a question that I open up to all the guys at this point during our COT. What's a time in your life when God did this for you, right? When he took something that was something you thought was absolutely terrible. And we had a lot of guys really open up about how, here's a time that I personally went through something horrible in my life. And then all of a sudden, God actually created something good out of that. And I never would have expected that. So we had a really deep discussion. We actually hung out for probably at least 5 or 10 minutes extra on this COT talking through that. And I was really happy with how this one went. So thanks for listening, guys. Really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and let me know how it goes. Thanks.